So would you like to introduce yourself to us?
Sure. Hi, I'm Alice Kendall. I'm the Design and Social Executive at Tug Sydney.
So what do you currently do in your role at Tug?
I mainly do content creation and design for our client Hino. That involves creating monthly content and scheduling it for their social channels, so Facebook and some for Instagram as well, and also write blog pieces for their website too. And we create a range of posts across their social channels which are to try and engage the audience as much as possible and get them into conversation with each other across their Facebook community too. So we do that through different kind of like quizzes, monthly campaigns depending on their product launches, and also customer stories we find work really well. So yeah.
Sounds like you get to do a lot of variety in your role as well. So did you always know what you wanted to do for your career?
I didn't really know what I wanted to do as a career until I was sort of in my last year of school. I was always quite creative and into art throughout school, and my dad was a designer and he worked for agencies in London, so I always had an idea of agency life and always thought it sounded quite exciting. But I guess it was a bit of a risk because I never studied graphic design before I went in to do it as my uni degree. So it was, a little bit of a jump in the dark, but I was always quite interested in photography and typography and the relationship they had between each other. And so as soon as I started out on my degree at uni, I was like, no, this is definitely what I want to do. It was just so fun to be able to be creative every day and get to work with other creatives and just produce things to try and communicate with audiences and use graphic design as a tool to problem solve. So it was a good decision.
Sounds like you've learnt a lot over time. So how long have you been working at Tug for?
I've been working at Tug for 8 months now. I started in February this year, so I moved over from London at the beginning of February and started working at Tug at the end of February. So just in time for COVID really, so it's been a bit of a strange time to get to know a new city. But I've been really lucky at Tug actually to be surrounded by such a supportive group of people during such a scary time. Yeah.
So what clients do you currently work on?
I work across Hino, Australia, Betterway, which is property developers, Genesis Care, and then I also support the UK team with WWF, so that's on community management and some content creation for their socials as well.
So what have you learnt while working for Tug?
I've learnt a lot about working in an agency environment. Before I was working at Tug, I was in-house and freelance, so it's been great to be able to be surrounded by a group of people who are sort of digitally minded, and I've learned a lot about digital marketing as a whole. I didn't really know that much about SEO and PPC before, and so I feel like I'm starting to understand how all the different elements of digital marketing come together, and also work across a range of briefs for different clients and design in different ways and switch between that, which has been good for getting on top of like time management and things, and also I've been lucky enough with our client Hino to be able to present my ideas directly to the client in our monthly whips, and that's just really helped with like client facing presentation skills, and putting together decks as well as like including my designs and be able to explain my ideas. So that's been really good.
Yeah. So you touched on a bit about how you worked in-house before, so would you mind just explaining your previous role in a bit more detail?
Sure. So before I was working at Tug, when I first finished uni, I went and worked in the drinks industry as an in-house graphic designer for a company called Coates and Sealy. And there I was just doing quite a lot of print initially, so it was like POS and brochure design and flyers and business cards and things like that. Then we moved on to sort of more packaging design as well, and then in my last few months there I did a full website redesign, so it was lots of different projects I had there which were really great, but it was all in one style. And then when I finished up there, I went to do some more freelance work because I wanted to be able to stretch my design skills across a variety of different styles, which was really good, and it gave me time to set up my own side hustle, I suppose. It's called Pledge for the Planet, and it's an environmental pledging platform. So I needed to free up my time a little bit between freelance work so I could get that all up and running.
Wow. So what's a great project that you have worked on recently?
A project I really enjoyed working on recently was the Better Way website redesign. So Better Way are a property company, and they came to us with a brief to do a full creative refresh on their website, and I just enjoyed the whole process, being able to come up with the sort of wireframes and go through the functionality of the website with the Tug team, and then back and forth with different ideas about colours and the photography that should be used, and then presenting that to the client and actually being able to see it now in use on their Better Way website. So yeah, that was a really good project.
Sounds very amazing. So do you have any advice for grads, since you've recently graduated yourself as well?
I think I'd say initially, like when you're looking for a job, do your research around the different parts of graphic design, because there's definitely lots of different elements to it, and I think when you study graphic design at uni you think you're kind of quite specialised, and then you go and start applying for jobs and realise that there's so many different specialisms you can go into. Having worked in-house and as part of an agency too, I think when you're just starting out, working for an agency is really advantageous because you're working for lots of different clients, and so you're encouraged to, I suppose, stretch yourself a little bit more than if you're just in-house. And you're around other creatives as well who help you grow and develop ideas and stuff. So,
as your role is based around social media a lot as well, would you mind telling us what you think is hot on social at the moment?
I think that dynamic creatives are pretty hot on social at the moment. So that's anything that kind of like moves, whether it's in GIF form or animation, or if it's just sort of text and image overlays, which Facebook sometimes creates for you now when you go to post a campaign. I think our attention span is like rapidly declining, and so unless something is moving with text and imagery, I think you're less likely to capture the audience's attention. So lots of GIFs, and you can have so much fun with them as well. Like you can just take a little idea, make it move around, put some text on it too. So yeah, I think dynamic creatives are the way forward in social at the moment.
Well, you heard it first here from Alice. And also, what's your favourite website?
Interesting. So I've got two websites that I'm on daily. They would be Dribble, which is a platform for designers and creatives, agencies or freelance or basically whatever. Anyone can post projects that they're working on, and it's quite UX and UI based, so very digitally curated, and it's just good whenever I'm having a little bit of like a mental block creatively. I'll go on there and it always just refreshes, even just looking at things like trying to decide colour palettes and stuff like that, even if it's not necessarily something that you're designing for specifically, but you just need a bit of a refresh around what colours look good together. I always find stuff on there really helps me out. And then just in terms of like stretching ideas and having an understanding of what's going on in the world and in the sort of like design and tech sphere, I find Medium, the blog platform, has really interesting blogs from like lots of different points of views, and the articles are quite short, so like between 3 and 10 minutes long, so they're just like really easily digestible. So yeah, those are my two favourite websites at the moment.
Thank you so much, Alice, for chatting with us today, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Cheers, guys.